Hey guys, and welcome back to another brand new video. And today I'm in Singapore and I'm on an island called Sentosa actually. Yeah, Sentosa. And we are currently about to go inside this aquarium, this huge aquarium called the Singapore Oceanarium. I'm very excited because I love sea animals. They're all so interesting and cool to look at. And I was hoping, because as we were coming down here, there were many banners put up. And a few of the animals that I want to see are hammerhead sharks, manta rays, and so on. But anyways, what are we waiting for? Let's get into it.
When we dove into this underwater world, we were stunned by many species of jellyfish, starting off with the cannonball sea jelly. These ball-shaped sea jellies have blue pigments that help them filter harmful ultraviolet radiation. To snare their prey, they use mucus and finger-like projections called digitata on their oral arms. On one side of the hallway was a tank full of Atlantic sea nettle. Did you know that some juveniles of crab species have a symbiotic relationship with Atlantic sea nettles? They clean debris and parasites on and under the bells of the sea jellies. Next to these were the large Pacific sea nettle. Pacific sea nettles migrate daily to the ocean's surface, sometimes travelling more than 1,000 meters through the water column. They use light-sensing organs called oceali to guide them from deep dark waters to the sunlit surface. Are you surprised to see floating fried eggs in the habitat? Fried egg sea jellies get their nickname from their prominent white and yellow bells. Larger sea jellies may even shelter small animals inside their bells. We soon saw some white-spotted sea jellies. Tissues of white-spotted sea jellies contain zooxanthellae, which are symbiotic algae that produce nutrients for the sea jellies through photosynthesis. They also capture plankton for food with mouth openings on their oral arms. Finally, we saw a large group of moon jellies. Are you mesmerized by the moon jellies and their translucent bells? Well, these ethereal moon jellies use short, stinging tentacles around their bells to stun prey. Their reproductive glands are horseshoe-shaped and found in the middle of their bells. We then moved on to our next exhibition with many animatronic prehistoric fish on display, including a huge Dunkleosteus. The Dunkleosteus, a giant predator that lived about 360 million years ago during the Devonian period, could grow over 30 feet long, was covered in thick bony armor, and had razor-sharp jaw plates strong enough to crush through the shells of ancient sea creatures, making it one of the most fearsome fish to have ever lived. Other than the large carnivore, there were also other fish like an arapaima, as well as a cool display featuring fossils of not only ancient fish, but other marine species like the Ichthyosaurus. We continue through a tank featuring two species wading in shallow water, starting off with the Indo-Pacific horseshoe crab. Despite their name, these animals are not crabs. Instead, they are close relatives of scorpions and spiders. Fossil evidence suggests that horseshoe crabs have existed on Earth for more than 445 million years ago, even before the dinosaurs. Their blood is blue in color due to the presence of copper-based proteins. Along with them were a pair of epaulet sharks. Epaulet sharks are named after the two large black-eyed spots in their bodies that resemble epaulets worn in uniforms. They are generally nocturnal and are more active when water levels are low. When foraging, they often use their pelvic and pectoral fins to crawl across sandy bottoms to look for prey inside coral crevices. We moved on to a section which hosted not fish but aquatic amphibians and reptiles, starting off with the axolotl. Living in lakes and wetlands, axolotls are salamanders that naturally have a mottled brown-grey body. They are often mistaken to be white in colour due to albino axolotls preferred in the illegal pet trade, further threatening the status of wild populations. Next up was a pair of Titicaca water frogs. These frogs are named after the Lake Titicaca basin in the highlands of Peru and Bolivia. Their prominent skin folds also earned them the amusing nickname Titicaca scrotum frog. These frogs breathe through their skin, and their skin folds help increase the surface area for taking in oxygen. There were also a pair of elephant trunk snakes. Do you notice how the baggy raw skin of these snakes resemble elephant trunks? That is how these snakes got their name. These nocturnal snakes rarely go on land and can stay submerged in water for up to 40 minutes. As ambush predators, these snakes strike with great accuracy on unsuspecting prey. We finally saw two types of poison dart frogs, starting off with the yellow-headed poison frog. Yellow-headed poison frogs are referred to as bumblebee poison frogs due to their black and yellow coloration. There was also a dying poison frog. Meet one of the largest poison dart frog species in the world. They can grow up to 5 centimeters in length. Unlike most amphibians, male dying poison frogs guard their eggs from predators. We then went through an observation tunnel where we were able to see my favorite type of fish, sharks. There were a total of 9 different shark species in this giant tank, so let me tell you about each of them. Silvertip sharks exhibit dull behavior. They spend their days in the open water but move to shallower habitats such as coral reefs at night. Like humans, female silvertip sharks give birth to live young. Grey reef sharks show a strong side fidelity and have the tendency to return to the same area each day. They stay close to one another in schools in the day, but are solitary hunters at night. Adult black-tip reef sharks spend their days swimming near coral reefs, while juveniles prefer mangrove habitats for shelter. True to their name, sandbar sharks are usually found close to sandy seafloors. They migrate seasonally in some regions, following the changes in temperature and currents. Blacktip sharks inhabit coastal waters near river mouths and mangroves, aggregating in large schools near the water's surface. White-tip reef sharks are fairly social and non-territorial, often sharing their space with others of their kind. They are predominantly nocturnal, staying in reef caves or crevices during the day and emerging at night to hunt. My favourite shark species, sand tiger sharks, are the only known sharks to gulp and store air in their stomachs for buoyancy control. When developing in their mother's uteri, the stronger embryos may feed on the less developed ones. Tawny nurse sharks often rest in undersea caves and crevices, where they pile on top of each other during the day. Last but not least, you can identify scalloped hammerhead sharks by the prominent indentations along the front edge of the cephalofoil or hammerheads. After exiting the tunnel, we saw a blue spotted stingray. Can you see the distinctive iridescent blue spots and blue stripes along its tail? Compared to most ray species, they do not use sand to camouflage. When threatened, they use venomous barbs in their caudal fins to defend themselves. Next are the peculiar razorfish. Despite their thin and weak appearance, razorfish bodies are encased in see-through plates functioning as armor. They swim by moving vertically in schools, with their heads down and backs facing the direction they are moving. When startled, they make a quick dash into nearby coral branches or sea urchin spines. Then there are the intriguing weedy sea dragon. They may be toothless, but weedy sea dragons can capture prey effectively by using their straw-like mouths to suck them in. Instead of scales, they have bony plates in their bodies as protection. Males carry fertilized eggs in their spongy tail, using their skin to form protective cups around each egg. I seem to have found at least a dozen Nemos, as we then came across a school of clown anemone fish. Clown anemone fish form symbiotic relationships with sea anemones and shelter within their stinging tentacles. During mating season, males spring clean the area around sea anemones before the female clown anemone fish lay eggs. Before spawning, males may perform up and down movements called signal jumping. The open ocean is the largest habitable space on Earth. It lies beyond coastal areas and is divided into depth-based zones due to the differences in environmental conditions. The uppermost zone, the epipelagic zone, is sunlit, warm and nutrient abundant. Of course, we weren't going to be scuba diving and looking for some marine wildlife. Instead, we had a look at the aquarium's open ocean exhibit, which hosted 6 primary species that I would like to tell you about. The honeycomb stingray, also called the reticular whipray, is a large Indo-Pacific stingray known for its honeycomb-like pattern, whip-like tail with venomous spines, and a size of up to 2 meters across. The bowmouth guitarfish, also called the shark ray, is a large ray with a shark-like body, blunt rounded head, and broad pectoral fins that give it a guitar-shaped appearance. The spotted eagle ray is a graceful ray with a long tail, pointed wings, and a dark back covered in white spots. The reef manta ray is a large graceful ray with triangular pectoral fins, horn-like cephalic fins, and a wingspan of up to 5 meters. The mangrove whipray is a large stingray with a nearly circular disc, rough skin, and a long whip-like tail. Finally, the Javanese cow-nosed ray is a medium-sized ray with a distinctively rounded head, shaped like a cow's nose, and broad pointed pectoral fins. We continued through the Oceanarium, where we saw a colossal number of ironically tiny mysis shrimp. Mysis shrimps are also known as opossum shrimps, due to their similarities to marsupials such as opossums. Like marsupials, females carry their young in brood pouches between their legs. In the oceanic food web, mysis shrimps are a crucial food source for larger animals. We then went through another tunnel, this time an exhibit known as Shipwrecked. The exhibit had a model shipwreck underwater in a simulation of the Karimata Strait, the widest strait between the South China Sea and the Javan Sea. This exhibit hosted 12 primary species, of which one of them was the spotted eagle ray. Let me tell you about the other ones. To uncover hidden prey, blotched fantail rays use their mouths to blow water into the sandy seafloor. Interestingly, Indo-Pacific leopard sharks have been observed to reproduce without the presence of males through a process known as parthenogenesis. Bonnethead sharks are the smallest of all hammerhead shark species. They are viviparous, giving birth to live young after a gestation period of about 5 months, which is one of the shortest for sharks. Do not be fooled by the appearance of the golden rabbitfish. Their compressed oval-shaped bodies have venomous dorsal spines for defense. Named for their stunning red color, red-coated squirrelfish have large eyes that are typical of nocturnal fish. Yellow-banded sweetlips use pharyngeal teeth located at the back of their throats that produce sound for communication. Did the stunning colours of these blue-line snappers catch your eye? These fish have brilliant blue stripes along their bodies and bright yellow fins. Green humphead parrotfish are the largest parrotfish species, growing up to 1.3 meters long and are hard to miss because of the hump on their heads. Yellowtail phasilias exhibit mass spawning behaviors depending on tide patterns. They are found near coral reefs, forming large schools with other phasilia species. Can you see the thick lips and prominent forehead bumps on the Napoleon wrasses? These enormous reef fish can grow up to 2 meters long and live up to 30 years. Finally, yellowtail scads are easily identifiable by the dark spot over their gill covers and the prominent yellow stripe from eye to tail. Our final exhibition of the day starred the huge skeleton of a blue whale, which reminded me of the one at the Natural History Museum. The blue whale is the largest animal on Earth, reaching lengths of over 30 meters and weights of up to 180 tons. It lives in oceans worldwide, feeding mainly on krill, and is listed as endangered after historic whaling drastically reduced its population. Despite its size, the blue whale is a gentle giant that communicates with low-frequency calls, some of which are among the loudest sounds made by any animal. The final animal that we saw wasn't a fish, but rather an invertebrate. Meet the Japanese spider crab, the largest known crustacean species. Their leg spans can reach 3.7 meters. Juveniles may camouflage using sponges or kelp to decorate their shells.
So I've just come out of the Singapore Oceanarium, and I had a blast of experience because I was actually not expecting how big it actually was, because I'm so used to like these slightly smaller aquariums like Sea Life, for instance, but this is probably like at least 5 times the size, and there's so many cool things. There was even like an exhibition about prehistoric fish, and there was this particularly large one, a large animatronic of a Dunkleosteus, which I thought was really cool. As well as that, there were also many sharks, many rays, and lots of sea anemone, coral reefs, so many things to look at. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this brand new video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please do make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!